Start of the qualifying final here from Football Park. The Eagles up against the Tigers. First bounce favours Golding. The big hand got up. The Tigers won the toss. They're kicking to the southern end here this afternoon in absolutely perfect conditions for football. Golding's first kick of the afternoon. It's high. Where's McEntee? The big fly from behind. Nearly got it. Comes down to Hill. Hill around his bowler. Chance here for the Tigers. The ball sits. It will and it does to Higgins. Higgins brings up the first major of the afternoon for the Tigers. A great start.
29 seconds in. That's a magnificent start to Glenelg. Golding, obviously the free kick in the ruck, got it down quickly. Simon Hill just read it beautifully, and excellent skills that he's got there. Ball of momentum going forward there, and Higgins, who's had a terrific year, ran to the right spot hard and fast and finished off with a good goal.
Excellent start.
Golding's first knockdown again. He's dominated the first two tap-outs here. In there hard was Chigwidden. Coming in late there was Colville for the Eagles over the top of the football. This really is going to be a fantastic clash. The winner goes through and meets the Magpies next week in the second semi-final. The Tigers have been in tremendous form over the last couple of weeks. In there again, working hard, is Higgins. Comes up with the football, tackled by Colville from behind. And down on the ground, we just go down to Michael Parsons with the Eagles bench.
Thanks, Mark. You can see those guys sitting there, Holland and Kluzek and Pyman sitting down as well, doing a bit of a stretch, waiting your turn.
Ball comes out wide. Out to Ugrinik. He takes it, turns quickly, gets the right leg down the line. Where's Pavlik? He's in front position, got his hand up to try to control the football. 49 coming across there is Tipper. Comes back towards Higgins once again. Higgins takes it, looks for the handball. Great tackle from behind by Rogers. Should be penalised, the Tigers. They are. Coming out with Floriani. Floriani heads, looking for Biglands from behind. The big fella goes up, puts the big arms up, takes the mark, brings the ball to ground. The umpire has turned it back over, believing that Golding had first touch.
Can't believe that decision. Mark Micken with the luxury to be able to pay Rick Biglands up forward, who spent the most of the year in the ruck.
That was a big clash between Sherwood. He's down, he hasn't moved as yet. We'll stay with the game, it goes on. Up again, 11 for the Eagles is Kluzak. Just chips the ball up over the top. Still hasn't moved Sherwood. It's a great clash. Both players had eyes for the football only. Comes back to the middle of the ground, Hill. Kicks a bit awkward up forward, looking for McEntee. McEntee with plenty of pace. Really is going to test Fruin out this afternoon. Comes wide to Ugrinik. Ugrinik left leg down the line. Colville's free. Has running players in board. He goes over the top to Dillon. Dillon has time. Actually, Ciccarella has time to be able to take a bounce. He decides to get the ball inside 50 quickly. Player unable to keep it in was Ken McGregor.
So we have a look at that clash there. Two players met very heavily.
A clash
Pearce and also Sherwood, and Sherwood has not moved as they're calling for the stretcher right now. Looked like he got it around his head, Mark.
Yeah, it did look as they both came in, it seemed to have clashed heads. And Paul Sherwood, a young 23-year-old, playing in his 23rd game, his first finals for this club.
He's had a good year, and he's been part of the defensive unit of Glenelg that really have been hard and tough.
So we have to just wait now at the moment until Sherwood. He's got to at least to his knees. I think the player would love to stay out there, but possibly a slight concussion would be the best advice, I think, is to come off. Just make sure he's all right. But the trainers and the medical staff have got him on the stretcher, which is good.
Just while we're waiting here, Mark, it might be an opportune time to just have a look at some matchups. We see Stephen Hall taking Chad Corns and Brent Fruin, who's been a key defender for the Eagles, take the dangerous McEntee, who really has provided Glenelg with a focal point. But it's bad luck for Paul Sherwood. His first taste of finals footy in this competition, and also for Glenelg, as we have a look at the replay of the incident again. Both players there.
Oh, yes. Shoulder and possibly a head. There's plenty of contact. He did not move. What's
Terrific
he got here?
desperation and attack on the footy from both players there.
Stand away. Coming on to replace Sherwood's going to be Gigney.
Sherwood. Sorry about that, boys. I was out there for a minute.
Now you're back on board, Tim.
Geez, that was a nasty clash, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Both players' eyes only for the ball, and Sherwood obviously coming off second best.
I reckon he was out before he hit the deck. By the look of that replay, he was out as he went up because he made no attempt to try and stop his fall.
Initial contact, wasn't it, from Adam Pearce, who obviously got the top of his shoulder or his head, and certainly looking a bit worse for wear.
Restart of play, forward pocket. The Eagles trying to push it forward. Wrapped up in a contest, moving it quickly. Good attack by both sides. Heel over the top of it now. He's wrapped up in a tackle, and you'd expect a fierce opening in a qualifying final. And that's what we've seen so far from both sides.
No question about that. Both sides looking to gain some momentum, just get that start. Both young sides that have had terrific years, and just looking to gain that little bit of momentum, a little bit of ascendancy early in the game.
Ball bounced up poorly inside the 50 for the Eagles. It's Dillon. Dillon's kicked it high to the top of the square. Punched away by Gigney. Rode by Pavlik's left foot goal. Class act, the young man. That's his first goal, the Eagles first. They level the scores. Glenelg 1 goal straight 6. The Eagles 1 goal straight 6.
Got himself in a perfect position there. We see Dillon doing the team thing, kicking it to the front of the square. The Eagles with the luxury of McGregor and also Bigland's up forward, but Matty Pavlich, a marking key forward there, just showing his versatility, getting into the perfect spot in front of the pack, and his excellent skills, snapped it over the right shoulder for a great goal.
1 goal apiece, knocked down again by Wiggins, picked up by Lance Piccone. Piccone heads up forward, a chance for Matty Bowe to get over it. Nearly took it, goes back to Hall. Stephen Hall around his body, can find Colville. He's got about 10-15 metres on his opponent. Has the luxury of a bounce, looks inboard now to give the kick. Good running there by number 7 in Nicholas. Chance it comes back again. Pavlik goes up, he uses his big frame, throws the ball across. The umpires missed that one. Alistair Burke comes in, he needs support, goes over the top, sees the captain and Chiggy. Chiggy would take it. Got 2 players running past, comes towards the grandstand side with the handball. Piccone's in there again. The kick goes and finds Higgins. Higgins just lays it out. Running through hard as Jamison. Jamison just pops it up. Corns didn't move. Hall does. Read the ball a little bit better, did Stephen Hall. Is out of bounds over the boundary line. Down at the ground level once again, we've got Michael Parsons with the Glenelg bench.
Yes, and you see just 2 of them sitting there. Cook and the little tipper, we won't try his full name, and Sherwood's still downstairs after that heavy knock.
Ball been thrown in left forward pocket for the Bays. Goal apiece at the moment. Hall tries to get hold of it. Snaps it over his head. It could go out of bounds on the forward, straight up. Everybody tries to punch and get a defensive work away. Sikalel first onto it. Handball. Oh, Shirley just straight through the points. Thought he might have had an opportunity to clear that, but decided to go straight through it. Matthew Whelan.
Well, obviously early in the game, they just don't want to take any chances. He couldn't see any other options up the ground, so he just went for the safety of the point on that occasion.
Don't get safer than that.
Not wrong.
Adam Pearce moves it inside. Whelan. Rough kick, looking for Colville, didn't find him. Golding to Jamison, inside to Piccone. Now with Raiders. Long kick to the square, just offline. Another point to Glenelg. They move on to 1-2-8. The Eagles 1 straight 6. 2-point margin, 9.5 minutes into the first quarter of the qualifying final.
Happy Tiger fan there, getting excited and talking about the score already. See Rod Jamison really looking to stamp his authority on this game very early. On a couple of occasions he's been found deep in the forward line, so he really is going to run and create pressure for his direct opponent all day.
Good kick in by Stephen Hall up high. Working to the front of the pack there was Colville. Quickly snares the ball from the pack. Kicks it out wide. Floriani's out there with him as Raiders. Neither player able to keep the football in. A good crowd here this afternoon. Would be in the vicinity of around about maybe 10, 11,000. Witnessing both the first elimination final, also today's qualifying final. Again, ball thrown back in. Wiggins takes front position. Golding, the big frame, tries to make front position, couldn't quite get there. Kelly, quick hands, gives the running player in Boat a chance. Left leg looking up for McEntee, goes over the top of McEntee, going backwards through and with the football, couldn't come up with it. Handball comes out wide. Ball's just not sitting again. Well done there. Kick cleared, comes across again to Floriani, coupling a fair bit of ground there. With him also is Raiders, wearing like a glove at the moment. Raiders held without the football. Flurry's back in there just to hold up the football, give his players time to get to him.
That's just a fantastic contest from both of those players there, showing excellent pace to get to the footy, both trying to hold their feet, and then they kept the ball in the area, and that's just terrific stuff.
Good umpiring again too, Andrew. We saw that in the first game, the elimination final between Sturt and Nord. 39-point victors were Nord. Shirley, good hands. Finds Cicolella. Goes long, deep into the forward line. Bigland's in front, tries to get the tap down. It's rode beautifully there. And run out of bounds by Martin Melody.
Strength of the Eagles this year, Gaffin Colville, one of those players we mentioned before about whether he had the ability to go on and play AFL footy, and we both agreed that he did, Tim. Certainly got the tenacity and the skills and also the pace to make it.
Oh, what an attack on the ball by Visca. Ball ends up with Sir Richard Kelly, comes out towards the wing position looking for Piccioni. Burke over the top of that, but it's taken out over the line and defended well in the end by Adam Ugrinic. Thrown in half forward flank, Golding gets towards front position, did well, couldn't get a handball away to Bode. Players just sitting on top of it now. Umpire Greg Inge will have to come in and bounce on the half forward flank. It's the Bays by 2 points, 1 goal, 2-8, leading the Eagles, 1 goal, 6, 12 and a half minutes into the first quarter of the qualifying final.
Both players just waiting. Big Matthew Gold. It's going to be a great contest. No doubt Rhett Biglands came back this week from injury. Will spend a little bit of time in ruck. Wiggins has started. Gets his hand to the football. Has only gone as far as Kelly. Kelly quickly onto the boot. Pearce comes out hard. Read it well. Gives the handball across. 16 running through hard as McCarthy heads up forward. Aha, Pavlik's on fire today. Moving around well across that half forward line, Andrew.
Has started well. Very well documented at the start of the year how good his form was. He really had an impact on the competition. Had a little bit of a quiet period there for a while, but we just see here today he really is moving around sharply. He's already kicked 1 goal and just such an excellent focal point. Competes very, very hard in the air and has got excellent athletic ability.
Pavlik started before today's game. He had 36 goals, 24. He's already added to it with 1 major this afternoon. Lines up for his second. He's just put it to the wrong side of the goalpost. So 1-1, Matthew Pavlik.
That play started back there from Adam Pearce. Played a lot of his footy early at the Eagles in the back pocket. He's played most of his footy in the centre this year, but he's been given the job on Lance Piccioni, and he met the ball hard there and rebounded strongly from defence.
Rouvray over the top, running out of defence to Bays well. Up to the wing position, Ugrinic first man on it. Swings around onto his left, kicks it high in the air. A lot of players are going to have to sit underneath it. Floriani won. Cicolella roved it, crumbed it beautifully. Kicks it up long and high towards Biglands and there's Wiggins as well. Biglands trying to get hold of it. He's going to try and keep it in as he falls over the boundary line. Big fella tried to snap it in, but he's been roughly dealt with.
Earned himself a free kick.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Mark Visca there just a bit overzealous there on the boundary line. Free kick going to Reddy Biglands, who made an excellent contest there. It was 3-on-1. He held the ball in the area and then just had the vision and the sense to square the ball up and gives Dillon a chance from about 20 metres out, dead in front.
They shouldn't have too much trouble with this. It's normally a good kick for goal, Jason Dillon. That's no exception. Good leg, Jason Dillon. That's the Eagles' second. They move to 2-1-13. 5-point margin over the Bays, 1-2-8, 15 minutes into the first quarter of the qualifying final.
No mistake about that, Tim. He has had a good year with the Eagles coming from Port Adelaide, and I know you don't like losing too many, but he's just provided that spark and that pace up forward. We see him here today lining up on the wing, and he's just snuck down there into the right spot. Brett Biglands with good vision squared it up, and he finished off with a good goal. It's his 27th goal for the year, so as a wingman half forward, that's an excellent result.
5-point margin favouring the Eagles. Good bounce again, gives both big ruckmen a chance at it. Glenelg takes his own knock there. Coming out hard was Fruin, just gets it, soccers the ball out, realises this player's forward. Shirley just gives him time to be able to pick this ball up. McCartney goes over the top, saw the player wide. A chance again for Dylan. Round his body, heads up forward. Visca comes out, taken high by Ciccarella. A little bit of feeling out there between a couple of these players. I think, just see there
was too much doubt about that one.
Visca saw it coming.
Pretty obvious.
He braced himself. Golding again. Really mobile for the big fella. Comes a bit wide. Here's Gigney. Oh, backs himself. Tried to get the handball while he was going forward. Bit hard for the big man. His second effort's got to be required right now. Doing well there was Whelan. Just keeping the ball in front of him. He needs to be able to pick it up. Then wasted the opportunity with the football. Did all the hard work. Glenelg tackling hard there. Again, we see the big boy in Golding just over the top. In fact, it's Jamison who applied that last tackle.
Rod Jamison, retired this year from AFL footy after an outstanding career at that level. Tim played in the premiership in 1997, and he loves Glenelg and be looking forward to coming back and having a good finals campaign with them.
Certainly will. Dylan with an opportunity to try and keep the ball in for the Eagles. It's come off somebody's foot. We'll find out which one. It's come off Glenelg's foot.
He's raffled that one.
Yeah, I reckon.
If you see it right. Oh, through the leg, might have been the Eagles player.
Ball's been called back.
See there, Martin Melody.
Yeah.
Started at half back last week against West Adelaide. Really provided some drive and some run back there. He'll be a crucial player for Glenelg today.
David Barnes with the ball for the Eagles.
Only his 9th game of league footy, but he's just so hard and tough and inspirational. And that's the reason why he's playing in a final here.
Top of the square. It was a free kick there. Somebody flew without acceptances there and got in the back of Visca. Try and pick that player up.
It was Chris Kluzak, Tim, and he just interfered a little bit, put his hand on the shoulder.
Yeah, it was up too early. Chickwin with the ball in the back pocket now. Chance to clear for the Bays. Finds Rouvray. Quick handball over the top to Heel. Another one into the centre. Running well, the Bays. There's Josh Carr on his left foot. Goes towards the top of the square, but it's going to be McCarthy on the last line. Takes a good mark. And the Eagles will clear it out of defence.
Comes across the old Kelvinator and Andrew Rogers. Cool as ever once again. Gives you Grinnick a chance to run with it. Burke won't catch him. He has one bounce. Comes in ball with a handball to Floriani. Chigwitten's there. The Bay should defend. Visca again doing the hard work. Across to Melody. Again across the car. He goes wider to Hill. Hill just settle this down. Goes back. Looks at his options. Running down hard was Melody. Will take this. Willen's there just to stop him from moving any further. So a chance now for the Tigers. A couple of marking players up forward in Corns and also McEntee. Corns with a bit of AFL experience at the age of 19. McEntee, well, the Spies have been around the last 3 or 4 weeks. They would have seen an exceptional young player, very athletic. Again, the Eagles defence just go for the safety of the boundary line. So we're 19 minutes into this first quarter of the qualifying final. The Eagles 13, they lead by 5 points over the Tigers, who are on 8.
Robert Shirley there had a fantastic year with the Eagles, along with Whelan, a couple of young players that will be looking to further their careers in the AFL.
Quick snap by Corns, marked by Pearce. The Eagles was involved in a pretty heavy clash earlier with Sherwood. Sherwood's had to come off with suspected concussion. Great effort to make the ball there. Was Kluzak. Last time I saw him, he was jet white with the hair. That's such a colour. Good take,
Jet white's an
Melody.
interesting colour. jet black. Jet black or jet white, doesn't matter.
Well,
it was
that's
white
how white
anyway.
it was.
Tim.
It was stark. Martin Melody with a kick up towards Corns. Just gone over the top of his head. Chiggy with the crumbs. Should give off. Decides to go it alone. Goes towards the square. McEntee there. Arms up. Couldn't get it. Good defensive work by the Eagles. Taken over line by Rogers. Some good work by Fruin earlier.
Well done by Fruin to get back there. McEntee was in perfect position. The kick was spot on by Chick Whitten. He weighted it superbly just to the top of the square. And Fruin was good enough to get back there and make a contest and force it out of bounds.
Yeah, but I agree with Tim. The handball was on. The first option, the handball from Chick Whitten inboard to Burke would have been better option, I believe. Ball comes up over the top is Floriani. Tackled by Higgins and also Corns over the top of him. Picconi's in there as well.
Perhaps didn't need to use it inside 50 too often. The kick was good enough for McEntee to hold the mark. It's just the pressure from Fruin that got back there.
It's not a clean as start as the elimination final, is it, boys?
No, and that is surprising because the wind has definitely dropped and you couldn't possibly ask for better conditions here at Footy Park. It's outstanding.
Ball's down. Corns takes it. Went as far as Pearce. Pearce quickly onto his boot, goes over the top. Again, we see the ball out over the boundary line. A pretty even this contest so far. Inside 50s. Both sides have been inside 8 times each. Hit outs well also 6 apiece. So both Golding and Wiggins sharing the football in the air. Wiggins and Nicholas this time will go at it. Again, Wiggins just really strong for his size. Gets it down to Chig Whitten. Chiggy can't go too far. Cicarella's there. Stops it from going any further. So the umpire comes in. We'll ball it up. We're about 70 metres out.
Yes, Nails, just on that last decision of Chig Whitten when he went to goal, I know it is one of Tony McGuinness's coaching philosophies that if you get the ball within that 50-metre line, have confidence in yourself and try and kick a goal.
Fair enough. Good call. Michael passes on the boundary line. I think Sujay Cook's down there too. Looking like he's warming up, ready to come on. Over the top comes Jamison, punches it forward. Gains about 20 metres. The ball taken over the boundary line by Higgins. The Eagles 2-1-13, 5-point margin over the base at the moment, 1-2-8.
Brett Higgins has been a terrific player for Glenelg all year and he'll have his hands full with the captain Andrew Rogers on him, who really does rebound strongly from events and probably is one of the best tacklers in the competition. Rarely gets beaten and young Higgins will really have his work cut out today with an opponent like him.
Nicholas tried to crash through, ball ended up with Colville, moved it on to Fruin. Bigland's with the ball now, might give it back, will he, won't he? No, he kicks it long into the forward line. Back there's Gigney on McGregor. Gigney does well. Gets a handball out to Raiders. Raiders sprints away from Pavlich. Handball inside to Jamison, the clever Jamison. Got an old head now. Over to Raiders. Raiders on the centre wing position out of side. Moving it up towards full forward. Up goes McEntee. Nearly took the mark. Pushed in the back. Mark Nayley called it. I could see the movement in the corner of my eye, my peripheral vision. And you were right. Young McEntee, a Chad Corns lookalike.
He is an exciting player, there's no doubt about that. Heard Tony McGuinness during the week speak very highly of him. Just been really happy the last month with his second and third efforts, has really rounded off his game. He was somewhat erratic and inconsistent at the start of the year, but he really has added some other dimensions to his game.
He'll take a shot from 40 metres out, virtually dead in front. Ben McEntee.
Lovely kick.
Important kick, and it's a good one. So, doesn't do his reputation any harm by that goal.
Certainly doesn't, Tim, from 50 metres out in a final. Raiders there rebounding strongly with Jamison. That really has been the strength of Glenelg all year. Robert Shirley just got him in the back in the contest there. Had to go for the ball. Wasn't obviously a deliberately given free kick, and McEntee went back and kicked it straight through the middle as we go down to the boundary line with Michael Parsons.
Yeah, so we saw CJ Cook warming up to come on. He's actually replaced Lance Picconi, which surprises me a little bit. I would have thought Picconi was going to be one of the critical players in this game with his form lifting over the last couple of weeks as Glenelg have another chance to go forward.
Good work there by Burke. They just rushed it forward. McEntee's in there again. He just keeps the ball alive. He does that well. Chicky does it. Left leg, check side. Has he brought it back far enough? I think he might have. No, he hasn't. The one finger goes up. So Benny McEntee just kicked the last goal.
Just one of those players that really is capable of doing extraordinary things, and that left foot check side from there would have been a miraculous goal.
Well, McEntee's leading the goal-kicking list for the Tigers this year with 25 goals. Last year was Justin Scripps with 21, so the young fella, young 90-year-old's done pretty well this season.
Floriani nearly took the mark. Hill kicked it out of bounds on the full. A lot of pressure from Floriani over there. He's been a good player for the Eagles this season.
Been another one of the younger grade that have stepped up and made the most of their opportunity at senior level. Played a lot of footy in the reserves.
Over to Rogers, who found Colville. He goes with a high one up forward, looking for McGregor or Pavlich. Spoiled away from the contest. Visca to Bode. Matty Bode on the long left foot. Great kick, finds Heel. Excellent penetration with his leg. Just carried over the head of Floriani to get to his teammate in Hill. Simon Hill, a very experienced player for the Bays. Moves up towards half forward, Corns in front.
Oh, beautifully read.
Roving at his best. Kicks it in towards centre forward. Sujay Cook flew, but didn't get anywhere near the ball. Allows Fruin in. Kicks up towards Pavlich and spoiled away. Beautiful work. Higgins. A floater up forward to Sujay Cook. He's tackled as he gets his kick away. Nicholas there does battle with McCarthy. McCarthy could have gone and probably should have this side and missed it and swapped it out to the outer side. Finds Shirley. Shirley with the ball now, kicking up towards a wing position. Biglands. Good to see him get on the ball again and start dominating. Ciccolella got time. Just finds Floriani. Golding runs him down. Too late though, he's taken the mark. And it's been a bit of a start to the final. They're just sorting one another out, just trying to see who's going to get the break.
Dead right, Tim. No side with any real ascendancy at the moment, any real momentum. It's hard and it's tough, and both sides running pretty well from defence, which has been a trademark of both of their performances this year.
Matthew Bogue, 2 and 3 dodges, got clear, went to the boundary line with a lot of poise. Didn't quite get it to the line though. It's allowed Jurgenik to pick it up. He dodges himself, fumbles. Gets a nice kick in board though. Finds Shirley. He's got an opportunity to get long. Oh, that's a great catch by McGregor. Well,
6'3", looked out of the contest, didn't he, Tim, and just stretched those long arms and fingers out there. And
oh no, it's going to play on and kicked it straight to Golding, but it was an excellent mark. Let's see if we can get it back. They kick it to one another. It's end-to-end here at Football Park in the qualifying final. Well, they're getting confused, both players, because both teams are giving it to one another.
Obviously a few nerves just starting to play their part, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, chance to settle down.
Only 30 metres out there, Kenny McGregor. Should have gone back and had a shot, and nearly got it back again.
Ball thrown in. Bigland's in the front position. Gets the ball back to Ciccarella. Ciccarella kicks the ball up high. Chance again for the Eagles forwards. Good spoil from behind. Just look to see Burke come in. He'll take it. Got running players going past. Gives it across to Higgins. Higgins unleashes towards the captain and Chicky. Oh, the smallest bloke on the field takes an overhead mark. That's one for the record books. Chicky looks up forward. Coming out hard as Nicholas. Corns is in the front position. Up he flies. Couldn't take it. Well done by Shirley and Pearce. They share it around. Ciccarella again. Sends the high ball up towards Colville. Going back hard with him is Higgins. Inboard again is Colville. Just takes it. Keeps his feeding. Gets the handball across to Dillon. Back inboard again. Heads up. Where's the big fella McGregor? He lunges this time. Couldn't quite get there. Coming across was Melody. In there is Gignick. Throws the ball out. The umpire's picked it up. No, he hasn't. He's paid the advantage. Comes up to Burke. Or Rays in this case. Cook takes it. Handballs over the top. Chick with it. Doesn't sit for him. He needs the assistance again from Cook. Couldn't quite get there. Whelan does for the Eagles. Heads it back up. Bigland should take this. Misses another mark, Biglands. Back to Raiders. Raiders gets it around Floriani. Then looks again to give it off. He does that inboard with Sunlight and Higgins. He's confronted there by Colville from behind. So we hear the quarter-time siren. The qualifying final here. A 2-point margin at this stage of the game. Start of the second quarter here, the qualifying final, a 2-point ball game, 2-1-13 the Eagles, the Tigers 2-3-15. Bounce favours Golding, he takes it out of the edge, looks for Kelly to give the handball to. So Richards in there again, good tap over the top, again Golding gets involved, Kelly and Golding again, Golding this time clears the contest, comes out wide. First there will be Dylan, good leg speed across the turf here at Football Park. In perfect condition, lays it out, lovely little kick there by Dylan. Comes forward, number 25 for the Eagles.
Dutchy Holland has come onto the ground.
Darren Holland was find out later from Michael who he has replaced. So Holland heads home. 3 Tigers there, they should clean this up, they do by Big Golding again. Gives it across to Visca, Visca goes further afield to Piccone. Piccone comes inboard, you can see Hill and also Higgins. Higgins gets the ball down, well picked up again by Dylan, lifts the eyes, finds Colville. They can create something here, the Eagles. 55 metres out, Colville heads home. Bigland standing in the goal square, opens the palms and says, fella, where were you? I'm
certainly
sitting here
a
by
wasted
myself."
opportunity there. Gavin Colville, normally a pretty accurate kick. He blazed away from outside 50 and Rhett Bigland's no one on him for about 20 or 30 metres, and it's a wasted opportunity at this stage.
Well, forward pocket, the Eagles have a chance. Darren Holland over the top of it. He's a live wire. It gives you a bit of spark. He's wrapped up by Rouvray. And we'll have a bounce down in the forward pocket. We'll go down to the boundary line where Michael Parsons has the Eagle bench.
Yes, you can see them sitting there. They're keen to get out on the ground. It's a beautiful day for footy. Kluzik, Barnes and Pyman sitting down at the start of the second quarter.
Reasonable bench too with experience, Kluzik and Pyman. Biglands hits towards the goals, but it's Jamison. Jamison gets out of it all too easy. Handball's put Piccone right under the pump. Picked up by Gigney. Good handball though, finds Melody. Melody, the old 1-2 with Visca. Gets his left foot kick up towards Nicholas. Nicholas in front, does well to keep it there. Steady on his left foot. That was good play. Up forward, looking for McEntee. It's going to be a little bow, crumbs it well. He's got underneath their guard, he's got open goals, missed! Could have taken another bounce, could have steadied, could have done lots of things, but he kicked the point. So the Bays move on to 2-4-16, leading the Eagles 2-1-13, 3-point
Had a
margin.
paddock, there was no way Brent Fruin was going to get near him. He could have gone right in and drilled it, but backed himself in from about 15 out and sprayed it.
Chiggy takes the spoil back from Piccone. The smother off the boot finds Burke. Burke around the body, heads to the top of the square. Where's McEntee? Nearly pulls down a screamer over the top. Comes back to Hall. Hall says, help me out, boundary line.
That's a hot potato.
Well played, Stephen Hall. He looks half unconscious down there. Still had the presence of mind to tap it over his shoulder and get it through for a very relieving
McEntee
point.
sit on his head there for a moment. He still hasn't
Certainly
got to
did,
his
I
feet.
think he feels like he's still there. He can't get up.
He's struggling.
Oh, he's exciting.
He's a
that Ben
tough
McEntee.
character though.
You're going to be sick.
Very tough customer. He'll just shrug that off and go, where is he? I'll remember that one.
I don't think he remembers it, that's the problem. In the back pocket. Chance to clear up towards the wing position. Wiggins hits it forward. Dylan crumbs, but he's wrapped up in a beautiful tackle. Good piece of work there by Golding.
Just be interested in Michael Parsons' opinion on the ruck duel. For mine, Matthew Golding really has probably been the more dominant player out of those two with his centre clearances and also his marking around the ground.
Yes, he looks like he's on his game today, and we'll just have a watch as they come in and just push against each other. And Matthew Golding, although it wasn't a real big contest there, he definitely has some body strength advantage over the guys from the Eagles.
Heel over the top of it, tried to push it forward, but ends up with Colville. Up towards half forward, Pavlich just gets a hand to it. Beautiful crumb by Holland, he threw it out. He's got away with it. Kluzik with an opportunity to kick it along the ground. Visca's got pressure on him. Biglands picks up now, crashes through, gets it on his boot, smashes it into his own player. Cicolella now, he's caught up in a tackle. Ends up with Ugrinic. Around his body, high in the air. McGregor and Gigney bounces in front of them both. Jamison there to clean up with experience to Gigney. Too easy. Bays clear it out of defence, had nobody to go to. He's done well.
He's going to get there.
Yeah, Nicholas is going to be the first
Three
one.
on
He's
to one
3 to
here,
1.
3 to 1.
The Eagles must win this contest. Cicolella might have given a free away, or Colville. No. McCarthy. Opportunity to clear. That's Cicolella there. Didn't quite get a hold of it. Floriani fighting for it with Richard Kelly. And there'll be a bounce down right on the centre square. 4-point margin to the Bays. We're in the qualifying final, 5 minutes into the second term.
Tigers supporters haven't been to Football Park in finals for a long time. Have an opportunity today to see their boys go on to meet the Magpies next week if they can win this afternoon. Comes up the Raiders. Raiders towards centre half forward. Diving across there was Fruin, couldn't quite take it. McEntee comes up with it. Good second effort there by Fruin. Behind his feet there was Carr. Chips the ball out, Pearce is in there, gets boot the ball somehow over the Baggage Hill. Just starting to run a little bit of form is Simon Hill. McEntee, good tackle. Over the top there, coming through hard was McCarthy. McCarthy lays it out to Dylan. Dylan will run with this. He too looks for something up forward. Running hard is Pavlik. Ball's out of bounds on the fall, so on a good release there by Dylan. We go down to Michael Parsons with the Glenelg bench.
Yes, it's getting a bit thin already. Cook and Tipper Muntamerich sitting there. Just update on Paul Sherwood. They have taken him off the hospital just to check him out after that very heavy clash early in the game.
Rouvray with the ball at half back. Tries to centre it towards Jamison. It's not going to reach there. It's going to be Burke first onto it. He's wrapped up in the tackle and will have a bounce down. Centre wing members side of Football Park here. 4-point margin to the Bays. 6 minutes in, we've got a blood rule. Somebody's...
Yeah, someone's... looks like Robert Shirley there on his elbow.
Shirley, he's off. And he's not rushing off either. Andrew, he's just
no, he's just sort of meandering there, not too keen to get off at all.
And it doesn't
obviously because there's not a player waiting there, so fair enough too. But he's being replaced by Matthew Kluzak, who certainly is a fair replacement in any regard. Versatile player, can play forward or back. And probably have to fill the void in the midfield here just temporarily.
So we can restart play now. Umpire Kevin Chambers. Golding and Wiggins who win this battle. It's Golding. Hits it forward towards Higgins, who got it to Pachoni, did well. Kept his feet, got it to Heel. Heel on his left foot. Hurried kick up forward. And it really has been tight and hard here. Everybody's had to earn their touches, whether they be handballs or kicks.
Yeah, dead right, Tim. No side being able to gain that clear ascendancy at this stage. And it's just been the pressure that's caused the errors thus far.
McConey started so well, gets the handball this time from the boundary throw-in. They go back the Eagles. Rogers to Pearce. Pearce around his body once again. Dylan will keep this football in, as will Hill. It's pretty tight. Fair bit of pressure out there this afternoon. Just sees the ball rushed out over line again. Shirley, well, he's got bandages on there. Stop that blood from the elbow. Ball thrown in. Nicholas gets the tap down to Piccone once again, picking up possessions in the second quarter. Lovely pass forward to Melody. Melody gets the kick as he's pushed from behind. Has he had the accuracy? I think he might have. He's happy with the kick. The umpire's happy with the result, so 2 fingers goes up. That's his first. That's the Tigers' third.
Good goal from Martin Melody there. Came over from Western Australia as a midfield forward. And just in recent weeks, he's played at half-back, and they really are running from back there along with Jamison there. Excellent vision to centre the ball, and he finished with a good goal.
It's good work by Pachoni.
Northern end.
The Bays 3-5-23. 10-point margin over the Eagles, 2-1-13. The qualifying final. Golding up. Nice little tap to Bode. Gets knocked out of his hands by Floriani. Floriani, hands and knees, trying to get it out. Colville just got it out before the umpire probably blew the whistle. Wiggins there, Golding. And it's pretty desperate stuff. The umpire's allowing it to play on to try and get it clear. And they can't do so, so we'll have another bounce. 10 metres towards the Eagles' goal in the centre square.
Matthew Kluzak there, only got a minute on. Robert Shirley back on the ground, so...
Ball's down once again, Golding. Wiggins this time, too much strength for Golding. Kicked up forward, going back with it. Looked like Raiders, great courage. Pavlik comes up with the football, heads towards McGregor and Gigney. That's been a great contest back there between the two big fellas. Well done by Gigney, knocks it towards Burke. Can Burke keep it in? I don't think he can. Might be out of bounds on the ball. Oh, Burke gives the boundary umpire a spray. But right on the spot with the boundary umpire.
Gigney did everything right there, provided the contest, held his feet, got some advantage and got some yardage there, and ball just trickled out of bounds and then kicked it out on the full.
Really tight on the boundary line as McGregor just puts it up. Any breezes there. Oh, Wiggins has come
Jeff
in.
Wiggins.
The only player that really wanted to be involved in that contest was Jeff Wiggins. Just presented himself, put the hands out and took a good mark. And the umpire will bring him round.
Really has had an interesting year, Jeff Wiggins. He was second in the best and fairest in 1998. He was outstanding all year and really lost some form and some confidence earlier on when Rhett Vigilance took over, but he's just started to come good now.
Well, Wiggins puts it on its way. The flags go up behind the goals. Another goal to the Eagles. They're 3-1-19. The Tigers 3-5-23.
Well, they really did need that goal. Glenelg just starting to gain a bit of momentum. They were through Piccioni. Also Raiders getting drive from half back, and they needed a goal there to stem the flow, and were fortunate with the out of bounds. But Jeff Wiggins at 6'4", providing an option up forward, took a great mark.
He's straight back into the centre to do battle with Golding. Golding all hand. Bo tried to get hold of it. It's going to be Colville with the crumb though. Around his body. Pack of players. Comes to ground. Well rode by Pavlich. The young man goes towards goal. Looks like it's bending. It's bending. It's hit the post. Well, he did everything right, Pacey.
Magnificent crumb, and just had the power and the momentum to shrug off the tackle, and then finished off with what we thought was the perfect kick, but just hit the post. Good signs though for the Eagles. A good sign for Matty Pavlich.
Jamson brings it in. Finds Raiders. They go for Hill. Hill and Pavlich contested that one. Coming across hard as Visca. Knocks the ball down to Melody. Melody left leg comes inboard. Brute Ray's there. He can get there. He has. Well, the camera didn't quite pick it up. The umpire was in a good position. Comes over the top from Hill. Gives it the Carr. Carr couldn't get across there to Kelly. Pearce did find Floriani. Floriani saw Biglan's out the corner of his eye. Biglan takes on Golding. Keeps going with it. Chips it up over the top. The big fella, he made a mess of that. He got past Golding. Should have been a goal.
Took Golding on, didn't he? And he got through him just, and then couldn't finish off with a goal. So a couple of vital mistakes there.
And he's come off the ground for Kluzik. I don't think it was for that mistake.
No, the call would have been made well and truly before that. So Mark Micken just looking to get a bit of a change there, unbalance the Glenelg defence.
Josh Carr, short chip to Chigwidden. Another short chip. Finds Berg. He's got some leading players there, both Corns and McEntee. Corns, great effort. Didn't quite hang on to it. Umpire says play on. Chad is having a word to him, displaying his thoughts.
The other umpire from the middle of the ground had seen the incident. He's paid the mark. The umpire may have...
they've overturned the decision.
They have. Corns
You don't see that often. Well, he's had it all the way.
Well, there's probably no doubt about the fact that he marked the footy. But the umpire in charge there has called it play on. Players have reacted accordingly, and then they've overturned it.
I think you'll find Greg Inch he was at the back of the play. Ralston was in the front and saw it and made the correct decision. So in comes Corns now from 50 metres out. Has a shot at goal. It's a good leg. It's a great leg, I reckon. It's a goal. 4-5 the Bays, 29. Lead the Eagles 3-3, 21. An 8-point margin.
Just have a look here again. There's no doubt it was an excellent mark from Chad Corns. Got himself in front of the pack there, held his ground, maintained control of the footy. They played it on and then it was reversed.
Don't see that too often, do you?
Don't think I've ever seen it.
It's just good umpiring though, isn't it, fellas? In the end, it was a correct decision, so good teamwork from the umpires.
Good call, Michael Parsons.
8 points favours the Tigers. They've got some good young blood. Another one there, Golding. We'll just keep moving out through here. Bode now. Another one of the youngsters for Tigers. Gives it across to Hill. And Kelly. Kelly just busts his way through that. Gives it across the Bode. A little speedster takes off. Needs to use the ball better. He does it up now to McEntee. McEntee's got Higgins there in support. Left leg around his post. A high ball. Where's Piccone at the back of the pack? Tries to get his hand to the football. Comes back inboard to Higgins. Higgins can lay the handball up. He's tripped as he goes forward. The umpire has picked it up. Oh, the Eagles backline players. Little bit of Hall, he's not happy with this.
Certainly wasn't deliberate anyway. I mean, young Whelan there just attacking the body and the ball, and the back of his legs just tripped him over. So a little bit stiff, but Higgins shot from direct in front.
And Higgins puts it on its way. Might be another major to the Tigers. I think it is. It is. That's Higgins. That's his second for the afternoon. The Tigers now just extend their lead out to 14 points.
Yes, those last two goals, good attack on the footy from Corns, resulted in a goal before with his mark, and then Higgins, he's been a terrific player all year, running straight at goal, got the free kick and then didn't waste the opportunity, kicked it straight through the middle.
14-point margin to Glenelg. Back in the centre, Golding with Wiggins. Ends up with Chigwidden, tries to get a handball out, Burke, quick kick, good final stuff. Up to centre half forward, McCarthy drops what he should have taken, Wiggins pressured through. McCarthy doubles up, gets it to Rogers. The skipper running around in circles. Eventually finds Colville on the outer side of Football Park, and he's got an opportunity to run into some space. Kicks the ball up forward, looking for Pavlich. Goes over the top of him to Matthew Kluzak. In towards centre for McGregor.
Oh, well done.
Great hands. And he's got an opportunity dead in front. He'll kick from 50 metres. But the big long arms of McGregor just out in front, too strong.
Led straight up the ground, didn't he? Perfect kick from Matthew Kluzak, just weighted it enough so he had an opportunity to run onto it and he didn't let him down. Must go back and kick this goal.
Yes, by the time he kicks it'll be 50 metres. If there's any breeze, probably just coming across him slightly. Punches it in. Is it going to carry? Not quite. Right on the line. Touched and rushed over for another behind to the Eagles. They'll move to 3-4-22, trailing by 13 points. Glenelg 5-5-35, 17 minutes into the second term in the qualifying final.
Visca got space out there with Gigney. Gigney can go over the top to Burke. Now he's got a paddock to run with. Takes off. Pearce finally comes in and give a bit of a contest. Good kick by Burke. Gives McEntee a chance at it. Sitting in the front there was Higgins. Well done. Used his strength to get through. Tips it over the top. Where's Corns? He's out in front once again with Hall. Hall just gets a big hand up over the top of Corns and forces it out over the boundary line.
Chad Corns coming into the side. They'll be looking for big things from him. McEntee certainly held that forward area down pretty strongly over the last few weeks, and they'll be looking to get a few goals from him.
So another opportunity. Forward pocket throw in for the Bays. McEntee tried to get the handball down. Fruin goes towards the boundary line. Defender's friend. And he gets it there. He's done well. A couple of Eagle fans there. Why haven't they got the Andrew Pay's t-shirts on? I don't know.
They're all sold out after today, Tim. Went and bought a few. Amazing thing is they're still on sale. It's pretty scary.
At ground level, everybody trying to get their hands on it. Josh Carr in there. Machoni. Could be wheeling on the bottom of that.
Glenelg about to make a change. Cook coming on. They're obviously, Tony McGuinness is going to rotate his midfield. Bode, Cook, Pachoni. So they're all aware of the fact that they'll be coming on and off the ground, which really is synonymous of what's happening with footy. I mean, you're no longer on the bench there to stay there.
Good take by Kluzak. Christopher type. Moves it on quickly. Going to find his brother Matthew on the lead. He can really add some spark when he gets going. Into centre half forward. Looking for Wiggins. Gets a hand to it. Comes to ground. Picked up by Raiders. Cuts inside. Left foot long into the forward 50. Attacking it hard was Fruin. Did well, but Higgins has done a lot of mopping up on the half forward flank. Whelan too good there though. To Fruin. Fruin into the corridor. Finds McGregor. McGregor's going to go long. Looking for Colville. Two Bays form on him. Richard Kelly gets a spoil away. On ground level.
Well done by Visca.
Yeah, very well done. Held the ball in the area.
He was out of the contest then, wasn't he? There was only one option. He had to get in and underneath and hold the ball in the area because the ball was set up for Chris Kluzak, who held his feet, but Mark Visca, strong and desperate always, stemmed the flow of play for the Tigers.
Ball's down, inside 50 for the Eagles. Good tap down there by Wiggins. Coming it hard again was number 18, McGregor. had a good half of football so far. Chips it out. Chiggy needs support. He has from Melody. Melody goes over the top of the running Hill. Hill just needs the ball to sit. He does that nicely, does Simon Hill. Finds Sujay Cook, the chef. Lace out to Higgins. Higgins can come in board. The car, he doesn't. Gets the ball up forward quickly. Coming out hard, very, very hard was Corns. Couldn't take the fingertipper. Sat upon by Hall there. Bode's in there. Again, Hall for the second, third effort. Bode just won't give him an inch. Over the top, Floriani will be contested with Cook. It's out of bounds once again. Half forward for the Tigers. Sujay Cook just came on. His first run for the afternoon. Nicholas gets it down. Where's the smaller players? Cook's in there. Quick kick off the ground. Again, McGregor comes out hard. Rouvray right on his tail. Kluzak takes on Burke. Kluzak the better of the duel here. Good hands in tight there by Colville. Back to Ciccarella. Ciccarella goes high. Wiggins with a yard of pace over Golding. The ball's not sitting for him once again. The turf here at Football Park is magnificent. The ball's just not sitting for players this afternoon. Good chip in. Again, the players running up. Pavlik, the youngster, the young 70-year-old, took on the defence. Couldn't quite get his boot to ball and will be rushed over there by Raiders.
A wry smile on the face. Knew where he had to go, but Matthew Kluzak's come on the ground and really had an influence. He's had 3 or 4 kicks there, and a couple of them have resulted in goals, and he really is providing a good option up forward for the Eagles.
Visca brings the ball back into play. Josh Carr, that was too easy. On his left foot. McGregor in front for the Eagles. Rouvray Spalls. McGregor 2 grabs at it. Probably be paid. It will be. Pearce
To play on.
and Colville, 2 of them. Don't mess it up, boys. Talk. Chip down the line to Pearce again. He's got an opportunity to get over to Holland if he's quick. Does that. Holland can give to Dylan. Does. Dylan has a shot. Might have paid to go to the top of the square, Andrew Pays. I'll ask
Mark
you that.
Micken will spew at that, I'll tell you right now. I mean, the opportunity to kick goals from there, very rare, doesn't happen too often. Had to come to the top of the square. The 2 forwards were there ready for it. Had a shot and missed.
22-minute mark of the second quarter. Qualifying final. The winner goes on to meet the Magpies next week. The loser will challenge Norwood, who beat the Double Blues in their elimination final earlier this afternoon. Pearce comes up with it. Just plays with the football up over the top. Gives it across to Kluzak. Running hard to Ciccarella. He goes in that direction. Coming out hard to meeting will be
good
Jamison.
courage.
Jamison a little bit high there on Ciccarella. The free kick's been paid. For the disgusser, Rodney Jamison.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a free. I mean, Jamo only had eyes for the ball and was good enough to bring it to ground.
Kick in.
Stiff.
It's a high ball. Chicky gets his hand over Whelan. Eagles player diving over there again. Looks like Matthew Kluzak.
.11 margin. 23 minutes into the second term. Eagles would like a quick one here. Brought out of the pack by Wiggins. Kluzak over the back. Can't quite get hold of it. Richard Kelly. That's the quickest handball I've ever seen.
How do you do a one-handed handball?
Golding. Slow to get
Had
it
to be
up.
a throw.
Gets it to heel. He's been tackled by Colville. Could have been, yes.
Yeah, probably did get him a little bit high, didn't he?
It's been paid. Switches play to Chigwin. Uganik, good pressure.
Playing it on.
Play on. Uganik, left foot. Looking for Wiggins. Takes the mark. Just inside 50. Probably knows he can't
Too
quite
far
reach
out
it.
to score there.
So he'll hit the top of the square. If he does that quickly, he's got Pavlich running around.
Probably got to get it in quick, Tim. One out in the goal square.
There it is. Set for Pavlich. He's got to run at it. Doesn't quite get over the top of the pack. Will Darren Holland tried to crumb. Tackle without it. Quick kick by Hill. Good work. Sujay Cook must spoil Dylan. Does so. Sujay Cook cleans up. Chigwin tackled high by Ciccarella. Oh, she's getting feisty. I like it. And Chigwin takes the free kick.
Certainly is. The tackling's been very, very ferocious there. A couple of high ones.
The chef heads home with the kick. The running Rouvray. Rouvray comes in ball. Can see Corns out of the corner of his eye. Corns couldn't quite get to the contest. Around his body. Look at this kick by Corns. A lovely pass by Chad Corns. It's found Matthew Bode, one of his power teammates, sitting in the goal square by himself. Well,
It's fantastic poise, wasn't it? I mean, didn't panic under pressure there. Saw Matthew Bode kick the ball when he was swung around, and Matty Bode dead in front.
well, that's Matty Bode's first for the afternoon. The Tigers just extend their lead. They move to 6-5, 41. The Eagles 3-6, 24.
You just see here Chad Corns held onto the ball. Stephen Hall swung him around, but he still had the ability to get the ball onto his boot very quickly, and Matthew Bode, good running power, snuck down there into the open goal and didn't let him down this time. Finished off with his first goal.
17-point margin now to the base just before half-time. They'll be pleased with that. Try and extend it with another one if they can. Wiggins in ruck, Chigwin. Quick handball to Richard Kelly. He's done some very good in-close work for the Bays. Hill up towards centre-half forward. Rogers tried to get a handball back play. End up with Bode, though, to Higgins. Higgins to Nicholas. It's good play by the Bays. They're just sitting it up. Now, I haven't seen this lad kick the ball too often. Will he make the distant mark? Confident?
Well, he's a big left legger. There's young Nicholas. Once again, these Tigers got some great young players around that side at the moment. Chad Corns, 19 years of age. McEntee, 19 years of age. Carr, 19. Golding, 18. And young Tipper.
Oh, good leg. Great leg by Nicholas. Sensational kick. That's his first goal. That's the Bay's 7th. They're just making a little bit of a break here before half-time. 7-5-47. The Eagles 3-6-24. 23-point margin. We wouldn't have a lot of play left in this quarter.
Super kick, Tim. You won't have to ask the question again about his kicking ability. That was magnificent. He went back from just outside 50 on the left. No breeze at all, and kicked it straight through the middle. And as you mentioned before, the Bays just starting to get a little bit of momentum.
23-point margin to the Tigers. The ball's dumped down on the turf here again at Football Park. Bode again picks up another important possession. Coming across is Jiggy. Gives a handball to Carr. Carr's looking up forward for Corns. There's a high ball. Out coming out hard is Golding. The big boy takes it. Couldn't bring it to ground. Big Matthew Cornings just having a bit of a break there from rucking duties. Nicholas has been moved into the ruck. On the 15-metre line here, ball be thrown in. Golding takes it. Quick chip around the corner there. He goes as far as Dylan. Dylan couldn't quite keep it in. Oh, the Tigers fans are here. The resurgence has come. Tony McGuinness has just put it together. A very good team of footballers this year that played fairly consistent. They've won their last 7 out of 8 before attempting this finals campaign. Now they'll hand the Eagles, well, only won, I think it's about 2 out of the last 3.
.23-point margin. McCarthy tried to take it out of the ruck contest, ends up with Heel. Good quick crumb. Corns runs onto it, bounces just before it gets to him, pulls over the top of him, and they won't be able to clear that one out. So
desperate the Bays at the moment. Just sense that they've got an opportunity to break the game open. They really are running hard.
Umpire Kevin Chambers. Don't mind him. Claims to have given me 3 votes one day. The only 3 I ever received. Play on. Ends up with Whelan. Whelan comes out towards the centre wing position. Bigland's in front. Sport away from him. Heel again. Had some valuable touches. Quick kicks out of packs. Vital in finals football. Corns fighting for it on hands and knees again.
Yeah, you're right there. Just that quick kick. I know Port Adelaide, just the ability to knock it on forward and keep the ball moving in their direction, whether it's a quick kick or a handball, were masters at that, and you're dead right in finals footy. Just got to keep it going your way.
Well, the Eagles, in fact, have won their last 5 out of 6. A little bit unkind to the boys and the blue and gold jumpers. The half-time siren here. It really has been a very energetic first half shown by both teams. The Tigers and also the Eagles. At quarter time, we had a 2-point ball game. There's the umpire just waiting now to start proceedings for this third quarter. We'll just see how these Eagles side. We see Biglands has been moved into the ruck, Andrew. He'll be up against the young Matthew Golding, a young 19 Crows players. The umpire holds the ball aloft. He'll thump it into the pitch here at Football Park. We said 24 plays 47. First goal needs to come from the Eagles. Golding taken high there by Biglands. The umpire puts his whistle behind his back. Golding's holding his head. Turns around the umpire, gives him a little snarl. Looking for his free kick. Even Kelly's having a whisper in that man of Wyatt's ear as well.
He's had another good start to the game, Richard Kelly. His form's been terrific all year, and as Timmy Ginniver mentioned during the break, he just got his start to get his hands on it and get a couple of those little deft handballs out.
Picconi's first half was very, very good. The Tigers go forward again. Whelan tries to break 2 or 3 tackles. Finally, Chicky holds him out. Good throw there and board. Gives across to Pearce. Back to the Kelvinator. He goes wider, trying to find Ugrinnick. Ugrinnick runs into Floriani. Well, Floriani's grabbed around the ears and thrown to the ground. He'll come back and receive the free kick. A little bit of undisciplined work there by Nicholas, but at least he stopped the play. Gives his time for his teammates to get back and man up. Floriani, how am I going this afternoon?
It's been a long day for you, Mark, so you can be excused.
Yes, I've been here too long.
You even coached the mini league as well. So
he takes it across to the captain. He goes back to him again. Son of Aldo kicks it forward towards centre half forward. Coming out hard was Gigney. He's taken it hard with Golding. The chip up forward goes across to Kluzak. The 2 Tiger big men are down. Oh,
beautifully read there from Justin Cicolella, front and square. He actually went to pass the ball to Matty Kluzak, but it carried and obviously just missed to the right-hand side.
Oh.
But just see the fly here from Pavlik and the commitment as well.
Bang! The crash of the 2 of the biggest men out there this afternoon. Gigney's up. Golding still not quite to his feet. He's holding his chest. Oh, he's a big man, he's young.
Finals footy though, 3 players just throwing themselves fearlessly at the footy.
Great to see Pavlich really enjoying the contest. And I guess if you're not up for a final, you're in trouble, aren't you? Picconi, deep in the back pocket, sells the dummy nicely. Time for a bounce. He runs just that fraction too far, and Kluzak corrals him. He's forced to go wide. Kelly hasn't been the dominant player in this match that he's been in recent weeks. He's still finding a bit of the ball. Well, even good players make mistakes. Heel, Dillon. The intensity has lifted. The Eagles have found another notch. This will be interesting. Dillon around the corner. Pavlich front position. Couldn't quite take it. Floriani just had a dose of the fumbles. Couldn't quite get there. Kluzak crossed the face of goals, and the ball's rolling, just inside the line. Good discipline. The Tiger defence as Raiders thumps it across the line.
Glenelg defence has been terrific all day. Just holding the ball in the area, putting the pressure on. Good crumb there from John Floriani. Just didn't have the opportunity to get in front of an open goal. But the Eagles have come out fired up.
Golding to his feet, contests the ruck there with Biglands coming up with a little Chiggy. Chiggy again, can't see anybody up forward, so he just goes for the boundary line. Has he found it? I think he has. Good work by the captain.
Experience coming through there. Didn't have any other option up forward, and kick to touch was absolutely perfect.
Back to back. I remember the days in the 80s, 85 and 86. The Tigers were SNFL champions. They still wear those jumpers. I thought they would have worn them out by now, David.
Trying to, aren't they?
Obviously haven't been used every year.
Oh, hard. He runs into the umpire's bunker. The big fella on Michael Parsons. He's down there at ground level, right in front of this contest. You may just want to fill us in.
Yes, you can see Biglands in the ruck again, try to take it out of the air. It's been a good contest in the ruck, but it's been the bays, I think, around the bottom of the big fellas that where they've won it. Speaking to Mark Micken before the game, and he felt that was going to be a critical area for them. They felt that the Eagles do have foot speed over the bays, but as long as they can get the ball out and allow those quick players first opportunity.
It's a good point, Michael. Just having a look at here, it's the Eagles actually, the ascendancy's with them 19 to 15, but it's been the smaller players of Glenelg, the Chick Widdens and the Higginses and the Picconis and the like that have been able to get the ball in close and get it moving, get the ball in quickly to their forward line.
Andrew Rogers, 35. We believe he's intending to play again next year. Would be terrific for the Eagles if that were true. He's been rock solid in the defence this year. Burke got it from Corns, goes forward. Good mark, Nicholas. He's grown in stature in the second half of this season. We're being a fraction unkind to say that he struggled early, but he has been a much better player in the latter half of the season. Carr stole that one away. Goal. No, it's a point. The Eagles got off lightly, Andrew.
You're not wrong. He nearly made them pay the ultimate price there. Just had the poise to spin around and balk. The Eagles overran the footy. Just hit it hard there and twisted, ducked and weaved inside and out, but couldn't finish off with a goal.
Oh, the Eagles, they've got players wide out here in Christopher Kluzak. He will fly at this with McEntee, the little youngster in McEntee. It's been outstanding over the last month for the Tigers. Piccone goes inboard to Burke. Burke left leg. No one up forward. Should be marked safely back there again by Fruin. Fruin looks sideways. He goes in direction. Looks out wide for McCartney. McCartney over the top to Rogers. Rogers just needs his ball to sit. It finally does. He's kept it inboard. Could go for the bounce. Goes down the line to Kluzak. Matthew Kluzak takes a good diving mark going forward. Gets the ball moving up towards Colville. Colville takes the mark and runs off. Heads towards centre half forward. Who's back there? Corns has run down from centre half forward.
Good courage to get back there and cut that lead off. It's well done by Chad Corns.
Good comment, Pacey, because there are different sorts of courage. One of them is running hard. Oh, great work, Ugritic. 2 tackles.
Yeah, well done.
And a good smother. So he's done everything. Good second, third and fourth effort. Burke, whose form in the last month has been outstanding, to Piccone. Too high for Nicholas. And now Shirley runs hard at it. Chigwidden got him bowed, claimed him in the second tackle. Holland went hard at the ball. Nicholas dishes it out. It's a clever work. It was Jamison to the skipper in Chigwidden. A short ball. Carr tries to crash through. Got through the skipper, if you don't mind. But Holland mops up nicely, turns it around the corner and into the run of Pearce. This little fella, well, had the ball smothered. Glenelg doing everything right. McEntee applied the smother. Whelan to Shirley. The 2 Northern Territorians combine, and underneath this one, Pyman, who started the game on the interchange bench,
Just come on the ground.
he could make an impact towards half forward. Visca caught under the ball. Well done, Pavlich. Toe poked it into space. It allows Floriani to run onto it. Gives a handball back over the top of it. Pyman tripped over Visca, goes to ground, comes again. Here's Visca and Pavlich fighting it out. Great contest, fellas.
The intensity really have listed. Mark Micken looking to get some real class in the forward line. He's put Robert Pyman on the ground. We see Chris Kluzak, who's been taken off, having a chat there to his coach, Mark Micken. And Robert Pyman be looking to get some touches there, because as soon as he gets the ball, make sure he stays with an Eagles player.
Dylan on Hill plies a tough tackle. Shirley's in there as well. Oh, Matty Bode. Brilliant stuff there by Matthew Bode. He takes off running. 2 bounces. Left leg up forward. Big Golding's been given a rest up at full forward. Corns has gone into ruck. Back here again. Rogers over the top now. 25 running through is Dutchy Holland with the long sleeve jumpers. Conditions are perfect here at Football Park. Dutchy, he's up. It's over the top of Hill. Good work by Pyman. Terrific handball. This releases Dylan. Dylan from 15 metres out, directly in front. Should have brought the goal squared apart. I don't think he has. Oh, he has! That's his second. The Eagles get the first goal in the third quarter.
Great running goal there. Full credit to Andrew Rogers, deep in defence, had the poise just to shrug his opponent off, give the ball inside. Dutchy Holland took off with the pace that he has got, and then Dylan finished off with an excellent goal here. It's a very good handball from Ken McGregor there to open him up. With pace there, took the bounce and then didn't let his teammates down. Great goal.
Has Palmer spent too long on the bench? Should he have been on before half-time, Andrew?
Well, he hasn't played all year, so Mark Micken would think he's going to be freshest in a half of footy, but he'll come on and have an immediate impact.
Kelly claimed by Colville. Burke running wide. Corral goes over the top. Corns, who's having a stint in ruck, is 60 out. Pushes it up into space. Allows the Glenelg runners to run onto it. McEntee, first man there. Fruin just corrals him. Takes him to ground. Rogers over the top of it. Claimed in the tackle, but still got the handball out. McCarthy, the boy from North Hobart, at 32 years of age, a recruit, if you don't mind. Fruin, short. The former Richmond player has not been beaten this year at centre half-back. And Raiders, who's been very good in the latter part of the season, heads to the
He's hurt
boundary
himself,
line.
David.
Who has?
Pulled a hamstring, Raiders, with that left foot kick. just pulled up really quickly.
Good call.
And he has been a very important player for them. They could ill afford for him to be injured at this stage of the game.
Might be a little bit of cramp at this stage of the game. Really has been played at a fierce pace. Ball comes back to Shirley. Shirley heads towards centre half forward. In there is Pyman, and you just called it. I just love watching this bloke play. He is class for the capital C.
Again, we're singing the praises of Roger James in the previous game, and Robert Player's another person of that ilk. Just gets his body in the right position and doesn't need too many opportunities to hurt a side.
Pyman will kick from 45. He's a big game player. He's pushed this one out to the left. So another behind to the Eagles. They move on to 4-8, 32. The Tigers 4-6, 48.
No question that their intensity's lifted. Mark Micken would have said we can play much better than that. Glenelg are out-manning us around the packs. They're running harder. That's been the basis of our game this year. Let's go out and play the way we know how.
Still a psychological edge favouring Glenelg. They're 3-zip in matches against the Eagles this year, and they know that. Confidence is a funny thing in football, but the Eagles have lifted a notch. They've had 12 scoring shots to Glenelg's 13, and they are on the comeback trail. I think that's clear. Colville and Kelly. I like that matchup. McCarthy playing well across half-back. He's got Nicholas. Pyman turns one step, miss kicks. Well, that was a good contest, wasn't it? The Tigers were just forced to defend stoutly. There were players coming from everywhere.
It's good play in all regards, really. I mean, Glenelg have backed themselves in all year with their running defence. And the Eagles, from the forward line players, excellent pressure to hold the ball in the area and give themselves another opportunity to score.
The Eagles are building a wall across half forward. Team disciplines are good. Rhett Biglands throws it down. Burke towards the boundary line again. Dillon, quick, sharp handball. Hugh Grinick, who has pace to burn and is enjoying these conditions, towards full forward. Matty Kluzak, one-handed attempt. Rouvray tracks him down and goes forward. Good Shepherd. Rouvray's dragged off the contest. Floriani dives in hard, as he always does, and forces the bounce. We are 12 minutes into the third quarter. 32 plays 48. It's a 16-point ball game, and the Eagles are mounting a charge.
Just an obvious sign that the vigour's increased and the intensity's there when you've got your forwards chasing down their opponents from behind, just to ensure that they keep the ball in the area.
High ball once again. Golding's back in the ruck. He's got his breath back. And that big hit there. It's out of bounds on the full.
Bowed. All of a sudden you just see that extra pressure, a few little mistakes that weren't there in the first half from Glenelg.
Colville from 50 unleashes the big one. At the back of the pack is Pyman. Pyman. He's come on.
Well, Mark Nayley brought it up. He said, why wasn't he on earlier? I said that he'd have an immediate impact, and that's exactly what he's doing. He needs to go back and slot this one through. I think you'll find he'll just sneak out, probably give himself about 2 or 3 yards, and then bring the ball over his left shoulder.
Robert Pyman, very disciplined in his approach. I think he might have snared this. The umpire will come in. The 2 fingers go up as a goal to Pyman. That's his first. The Eagles are back in this game.
He really is a player that does lift everyone else around him. They know how good he is. There it was from Gavin Colville. He just put it in the area to the front of the square. He knew there'd be a contest. Players like Pyman and Pavlik down there, why wouldn't you go to that area? And good enough to go back and not even go out on the angle, David. He just went back with a drop punt and slotted it straight through.
McGregor off, Chris Kluzak on for the Eagles. We said they were mounting a charge. The intensity has clearly lifted. The crowd is behind them, and I think even Glenelg fans have found voice in this match, worthy of a qualifying final, no question. As the umpire comes in, we are 14 minutes into the third quarter, the premiership term, and it's back to 10 points after 23 points was the margin at half-time. And the breeze has sprung around to the left of screen. Biglands wins the tap. Heel claimed by Colville, goes to ground.
Important point, David. It has sprung up. A strong northerly all day, and then it's now switched, and the Eagles that want to take advantage of that. Only a 10-point margin at the moment.
And fellas, down here you'll see Michael Raiders hobbling off the ground from that hamstring strain you called before, and on will come Tipper Muntameri, and we're looking forward to him showing us his skills.
big blow to Glenelg, David. He's been a terrific player, not only today but all year, and just his strength and his toughness.
Well, they've lost Sherwood and Raiders, so it's a pretty fair call you've made. Whelan had the kick smothered. Ugrinik comes back inboard. Clever handball to Floriani, who shoots for goal. It's back within 4 points. The Eagles are on a roll. Can Glenelg defend this?
Fantastic effort. We've mentioned before the intensity. Great goal to Johnny Floriani. Not a noted goal kicker, but just had the poise and the presence to sneak around onto the right foot there. Excellent little tap back into the play there from Whelan. Ugrinik late on the tackle. He's been good all day. Johnny Floriani got himself in the right position. The handball from Ugrinik, and off one step turned around and slotted it straight back into the middle. And fellas, we've got a ball game.
48 plays 44. We've played 15 and a half minutes of this third quarter. Biglands belts the ball in his direction. Burke comes out. Hold the steam train, but Chicarella comes out. He takes it, comes across to Colville. Working hard in there is Carr. He gets his head over the top of the football. The little ginger Megs is down the bottom of that pack. Oh, it's a good tough tackle.
Even if the tackle wasn't paid, what a fantastic sign. Cicarella coming off the half-forward line there, made up ground and laid on a super tackle.
Down again. Big Matty Golding. Biglands is starting to play a big influence in this game this afternoon. Very quiet in that first half. Started at full forward. Spent a little bit of time on the bench. The Glenelg coach, Tony Simons.
Tony McGuinness.
How am I going? Simons was a few years ago.
Your
He'd love to still be there.
He was a Tiger coach, but not today.
Holland, left foot, into the Eagle forward line. Pavlich front position. It looks like Rouvre's got that difficult task right now. Kluzak, that's Matthew Kluzak around the corner under pressure from Tipperman Tameri. And Chris Kluzak happy to take the ball across the line.
Smart Mick, and he's been able to use a couple of players just to break up that movement in the Glenelg forward line. He's throwing Pyman on and off, Kluzak on and off, just trying to break up that balance of Glenelg defence, which has been so solid.
Holland pushes it forward, off hands again. Matthew Kluzak puts it to the point of the square. Good disciplined kick. Oh, free kick. And Ugrinik was held. Play on, said the umpire, as Gigny tried to dispatch a kick. Dillon claims him and takes him to ground. The ball is thumped wide. Chris Kluzak, slick handball. Ugrinik around the corner. Oh, Rouvre missed it. Visca creamed. Pyman got him. Jamison taken high by Matty Kluzak. And what's the umpire saying?
He won't be.
I'll have a bounce. 44 plays 48, 17 and a half minutes into the third term, and umpire Kevin Chambers was not to be intimidated.
Couldn't do much better than that with the tackle. Perhaps didn't have a great deal of opportunity to get rid of it. That was a perfect tackle in the square.
Thump across, Matty Kluzak over the shoulder. Oh, he punches the air. There's Matthew Kluzak. That's only one side. He's kicked another major.
They're in front.
The boys are in front.
Fantastic. Well, you could almost call it a second effort in a different contest. Laid on a beautiful tackle in the goal square. Then got the reward for that effort by getting one out in the open. And he is an inspirational player. Has that ability to do that uncanny thing, and he's kicked an excellent goal over his shoulder. And the Eagles go to a 2-point lead.
Biglands is big and strong in there. Very big and strong. He's jumping hard into Matthew Golding, realising that it was hurt before against Gigny. Well, the Eagles have kicked 4 in this third quarter. The Tigers have only added 1 behind. They really are dominating the possessions in this quarter, the boys from Woodville Road. Down they go. It's a punch down, middle of this ground. Again, we just see Shirley up over the top. Comes out hard again. 51 is Cicarella, couldn't release it to one of his players. Coming up with it was Melody, gives it across the Carr. Carr just balances himself, heads up towards McAtee and Corns. The push and the shove up there. Umpire calls play on, comes out towards young Chatley Corns. Can't quite keep the ball in.
Excellent defence from Andrew Rogers there. Not too many players around that are aware of the position of a game at any given time and what needs to be done, and he's certainly a classic example of that.
Pearce clever to Whelan, off the left boot and off the outstep too. Rhett Biglands, 2 bites of the cherry, tried to claim it, not paid. Ugrinik needs a target. He's forced to come inboard and then wide. Colville presented himself as a target. Tipper met Tameri. Came through hard. Kelly releases him. Tipper tries to come back inboard. Inside, well done, Kelly. Hurried kick into space. Rogers sets out after it. Higgins is there for Glenelg. The ball beats both players across the line.
Well played by Tipper back there, David. He had to leave his man, go and meet the footy. He showed excellent commitment and turned the ball over, and that was well played from the young fella who's just come on the ground for Michael Raiders.
If you're watching from the Northern Territory, 3 Territorians in this match. Pachoni, 25 out, clears and goals. They're back in front, the Tigers. This really is a contest, a real arm wrestle. Glenelg are giving it everything.
No doubt about that. Excellent goal to Pachoni, who's revolved on and off the bench all day. But he just had the power to break away, the strength in the leg power there to move away, and then finished off with an excellent goal. And just what the Bays needed at this point of time, just to wrestle a little bit of that momentum back.
54 plays 50. Lance Pachoni, my best player up to half-time for the Tigers. Round about his first touch in this third quarter. 7-8-8-6. Umpire poised once again, thumps it down, good bounce, gives both players a chance. Bigland again gets his hand on the football. Ukrainic's in there, tackled by 2 players, Burke and Pachoni. They weren't letting him loose. Again, as the sun starts to set behind us here at Football Park. Golding again over the top with Shirley. It's a bit of a set play there happening this afternoon. Overrunning it, it's Colville. Chicky comes in to assist as well. Gives Pachoni a chance at it. Good work again by Colville. Sat upon.
It's just a good contest from both players there. I think you get Chick Whidden and Gavin Colville, you wouldn't get too many more ferocious players around. Hard at the footy and just held the ball in the area. That's terrific finals footy stuff.
21 and a half minutes played in the third term. If this is the premiership quarter, you've got to say the Eagles really have taken the points. And they've done it really as a team. There's been no outstanding individual that's really forced them back into the game.
I think they've got on top in the middle of the ground through the centre. Golding was good in the first half, but Rhett Biglands is really starting to get his hands on the footy and giving his rovers and his running players first opportunity like this.
Pearce high amongst the possession gatherers first half, finds Pyman. Well, this is a masterstroke, isn't it? Started on the bench, and when you've got this sort of talent and experience on your bench, you're pretty well served.
No question about that. Quite possibly the future coach of South Adelaide, Mark Nayley, mentioned that. Why was Pyman on the bench in the first half? And he's really starting to show his stuff early in his coaching career.
Oh, dear me, Paisley. Pyman from 50, bends it back, not quite far enough. It's going to drop short. Golding thumps it across the line. We're back to 3 points. It's a tight one.
Always going to be a difficult kick from that distance. Breeze assisting him, but Golding did well to get back there and block up the hole. Forced it through for a rush behind.
Visca positions himself, heads to the outer side. Big Matty Golding. Biglands jumps him, rides him like a horse. Jumps inboard again. Quick hands by Pearce. Pearce to Kluzak. Kluzak inboard. Going back hard was Gidney. Not hard enough. Was again that man of the moment. Robert Pyman takes another mark inside 50, directly in front.
I think if we're looking for a difference in the first half, this is it. I mean, he's just provided a contest coming up now. 6 marks in a quarter. Really needs to go back, just settle down and kick the goal.
Takes the deep breaths, concentrates on the delivery now, comes forward 2, 3, 4 steps, releases the football. Well, the Tigers' flags aren't waving, the Eagles' ones are. It's another goal, they're back in front.
Just doing the team things here. We just see Adam Pearce getting it out. Matthew Kluzak bringing it back inboard, and where every good forward should be, playing in front. The kick's gone askew, but there you're always going to have an opportunity to catch it.
That's
exactly what's happened.
6 kicks and a handball to Pyman.
And a couple of sausage rolls.
Important ones. They look to him for leadership, and he's giving it right now. Golding wins the tap. Colville, tungsten man, he's as tough as they come. Over the top of it, Kelly claims him and calls for a cab. No free kick.
That was Biglands. Biglands got the tap there, not Golding. Biglands has been one of the difference in this quarter as well. He has just attacked this football. He just has eyes only for it. He's just been so strong in the middle. Again, he gets the tap out. Gets it down, it goes forward once again. Came out hard. Oh, Kluzak, 1-2 grabs at it. Finally ends up with it. Got players running down in numbers. Hits Pearce. Pearce hits it, runs, straightens the body, releases the kick. It's not good. Pyman uses the body. Couldn't quite get his hands up. He's calling for a free kick. Umpire just calls it in.
Go back to Rhett Bittman's. Mark Micken actually mentioned to Michael Parsons at the start of the game the luxury he had with both Wiggins and Biglands, and that's probably starting to show out now. Rhett Biglands certainly jumping much higher than Matty Golding at the moment, Nails.
14 hit-outs to 3 this turn. Biglands winning it. Oh, big fly. Great grab taken by
Jason Dillon it is.
That's a good leap.
Brett Burton-like. Had no one in front of him, just jumped out of the air.
And into space it goes. Chris Kluzak misses it. Gigny recovers, pushes it wide to Heel. Heel has space in which to work. Plenty of movement forward for him. He's just got to take the option. Decides to push it into the path of Nicholas, who turns. Back on the left boot he goes. Deep towards half forward. Carr sits, carries, gets through. Handballs away to Bode on his natural left foot. He lines up the goals, but the goal umpire goes galloping. We're back to 3 points, fellas. The Eagles have the breeze this turn, but Glenelg will come home with it.
Certainly has swung around, and Matthew Bode, he's been a good player all day. Just his pace and his drive through the midfield there. He's kicked a couple of points, but he has provided with a lot of spark around the packs.
Fruin, out of sight, goes, looks for the big ruckman in Biglands. He takes another screamer over the top. Gets up, gives the handball across the running McCartney. McCartney's got Colville, heads in that direction. Little Ginger, he takes it, needs support now. He slips over, comes back to Pavlik. Pavlik can't get his foot to the boot. Piccone comes in quickly, takes it, cleans it up, sits upon it, tucks it under his jumper.
That's just excellent pressure from Glenelg. Chasing from behind there. Jason. Gavin Colville on the slippery dip there, just tried to hold it up and couldn't keep his footing, and Glenelg were able to hold it in the area.
Golding into the path of Melody. Missed a lot of games with injury, but you can see that he's been a real quality pickup for them.
Has been a real plus, and he needs to stand up for the rest of this game when you consider that Raiders, who's been outstanding all year, along with Paul Sherwood, can't take any further part in the game.
It's interesting, since Sherwood has gone off, they really lost some of that dourness in their defence, and Raiders, they're missing his drive. Holland to Pearce, out wide McCarthy. Plenty of experience there, and towards Matty Kluzak, another AFL quality player.
He's come on since quarter time. He's had 11 and 4, and he's really given them some drive up there.
Burning to his brother Chris. Tipper Matameri, first man there. Tunnel ball dragged off it by Pavlich. Play on, said the umpire. Chris Kluzak got away the handball. Golding's handball was smothered. This is a great contest.
Awesome
If we were worried about the first half, fellas, this third quarter has turned into a classic.
Both sides are just throwing everything at it, holding the ball in the area. Just getting back to the value of Raiders, David, if you're Tony McGuinness and you say, who can I put on Robert Pyman at the moment to stem the flow, your Raiders would be your first pick. He hasn't got that luxury.
It's three-quarter time here in the qualifying finals. The Eagles are 8-10, Glenelg are 8-7. It's a 3-point ball game.
Well, Andrew, looks like they've put the lights on here at Football Park. It's getting a little bit dark as we're about to start the last quarter here. The qualifying final, 8-10-58. Plays 8-7-55, a 3-point ball game. Again, Biglands first hand, but gets picked up there by Chigwitten. Looks like Jamison's been moved into the centre of the ground here. Higgins tries to bust his way through. A good hand over the top to Sujay Cook. Coming through again for a second effort as Chigwitten couldn't quite pick it up. Wheeling good hands across, trying to find Dillon. Again, we see Chiggy and Cook in the contest. Dillon's taken high. The umpires missed that one. Down to Colville, over the top is Tippy. Should take it, no, it doesn't. Great
fantastic
mark by Floriani. Read it better than what Tippy did. He gets the ball moving quickly across to Shirley. Shirley heads up now towards Pavlik. Pavlik out in front, can't quite take it. In there again is Piccone. Across to Tippy once again. The free kick is given against the Tigers for a throw. Matty Kluzak comes up with it. Got to play a loose from Floriani. Bit of loose checking here by the Tigers. Well, Floriani looked to give the football across in the handball.
Worked hard off his wing to get down there and provide another option.
Heads up towards Palmer, going back hard as Big Golding. Eagles have the numbers. There's players, plenty are down there. The soccer has been given. The kicking in danger against maybe Pyman. It'll go to Melody. Melody takes it, goes out wide. Kelly's provided an option. No one's standing to mark. Which way will Kelly go now? He looks both sides. Rouvre's run down hard. As has Burke. Coming across as Chig Whitten. He's giving time now for Biglands to get back into possession. He comes across the face of goals to Golding. Golding just needs to do something now. Will go over the top to Gigney. Gigney can go across to the little tipper. Just goes back, and they need to get this ball moving quickly. They still trail by 3 points.
Melody, experienced across half back. They'll need every ounce of that experience to get home in this match. Lifts the eyes, takes the long option. It was Nicholas. Big fly from behind McCarthy.
He's had a very good day, David. 18 possessions from a half-back flank along with Andrew Rogers. They've really provided some experience back there.
Well, I think he enjoys the big occasion too. He really has risen for it. Pyman had the ball thumped away from him. Pachoni, who's worked hard over the top of the ball. Floriani, one step, delivers it forward into space. It goes. Chris Kluzak, he's got it. Front position and the ball.
Excellent mark from there. John Floriani got down there, gave him something to run at. And Chris Kluzak, we all know he's got excellent hands and also pace to get out of the blocks. And that was a fantastic mark.
5 and 4. And he hasn't scored at all today. Squeezes a point.
Well, it is a difficult angle and the breeze is working against him. But the Eagles have come out with the same intensity and the same ferocity that showed in that third quarter. And Glenelg just haven't had the opportunities that they've had in that first half. Got to move the ball on quicker.
McConey will find Jamison with the kick in. Jamo's been a little bit quiet this afternoon. Started pretty well with plenty of vigour.
Yes, he certainly has by his standards, Mark. Only 8 possessions. He's had 2 and 6 from the back pocket.
Sujay Cook comes in looking for Nicholas. He's in the front position. Coming across the top there will be Hill. He'll be taken on here by Colville. Clash of bodies. Colville gets the football. Gives it across to Kluzak. Kluzak, he finds Biglands. The big boy gets off. Chips the ball out. Maybe should have gone to the top of the goal square. There's nobody there. Pushes it wide out to Kluzak. Kluzak keeps the footy in. He still paddles it forward. The football's still in now. He sockers it across. He's still in there for a third, fourth there, but in there also is Baconi. Pavlik's in there as well, comes across to Tipper. Tipper will take off running. He's got Hill down. He comes back inboard to Jamison. Jamison will go up looking out there for Higgins. Will it carry? It does. He finally takes it. Will be taken there by Rogers. Great tackle by the veteran. That has to be holding the ball.
Fantastic tackle. He is just impossible to get past this bloke. I know it for a fact. Just a magnificent tackler, watches the hips, and when he gets an opportunity to lay it on, they don't get past, ever.
Port Pirie boy, Rogers, who had a stint with Geelong and Essendon, has come back to lead the Eagles by example and win a couple of best and fairest. I think it might even be 3. Pavlich on the lead. Well, he seems to be enjoying his footy again. A real spark for the Eagles today, in a promising sign. Floriani pushes it back. Cicolella had the kick smothered. This is desperate work by both sides as Colville floats one high into the forward line. Chris Kluzak underneath that one. Dillon just inside the line. Handballs it back and Gigney concedes the point and thumps it right across the line.
Well done by Gigney. Glenelg defence. They've been damaged with the loss of Raiders and Sherwood. They've been under a lot of pressure in this last half, and to date they've stood reasonably tall. They really need to generate that run from defence that has been a trademark of their season.
McConey in once again. Jamison, one hand, one touch. Cook comes down with the football. Great tackle from behind by Floriani. Some tough work being done here by the Eagles since half-time. Melody across to Kelly. Kelly onto Hill. Hill down the line. Where's Nicholas? Again, McCartney back then. He's really starting to dominate across that half-back line. McCartney comes in board. Again, we see Colville. He's working up and down the ground as he should. He will feature very high Tuesday night's McGarry medal count.
Just runs hard at the footy every time. Understands when he needs to hold the ball in the area. Very, very desperate.
Holland deep into the forward zone. Chris Kluzak and Digney. That's a mismatch, by the way. That is a real mismatch.
Yeah, Mark Nayley called it before. Chris Kluzak, albeit 6 foot, he still is very, very fast. Pratt should have held that mark, and Tony McGuinness has been restricted with his options because of the players that are off the ground and won't take any further part in the game, but that is a fair mismatch.
I think that's a pretty good point, Pacey. I don't know that Tony McGuinness has got any other options. Holland flicks it out. Matty Kluzak had the kick smothered by Rouvray. Well, look at the players just battling hard for the ball. Kluzak, that was Chris type. Off the ground it was Pyman, Dillon. Now Matty Kluzak upended, tackled by Rouvray and Pachoni. This one's going to go down to the wire. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
There's fantastic stuff there. The Glenelg defence has been besieged for about 45 minutes. The Eagles have had enormous scoring opportunities down there and they've stood tight thus far.
Bounce down once again. Big Matty Golding's in there. Gives it across to Jamison. Back to Chigwidden. Chigwidden just lays it across the boundary line.
Inside 50 in the first half. Glenelg were in front by 10. Now we see the Eagles 46 to 38, so that's a fair difference and a true indication that the Eagles have had the majority of the ball in the last half.
5-point ball game again. Bigland's in front of Golding's been outstanding in the second half. Just knocks the ball forward. Bit of bash and crash. Keep the ball alive. Coming up with it was, looks like Carr. Carr lays it out here. Floriani and Hill. This will be a great contest. Floriani a little fleet-footed. He takes on Hill. Gives to McCarthy. McCarthy over the top. Looks for Kluzak. Kluzak over his left shoulder. It's high. Where's the marking power of Pavlik? He pushes and shoves. 1-2 grab, comes down with it. Try to skittle the ball across the ground. Colville somehow come up with it. Oh, the Tigers fans are just appreciative of how hard their backline has worked since halftime.
It's just terrific desperation, isn't it? Right down to the wire.
Bigland's front position. Thumps it down. Pyman couldn't get through the traffic. That was a funny old Russell Ebert type handball. Dillon to the point of the square. It was a good disciplined kick. Pulling and shoving. No free kick and thumped across the line. Well, you got your money's worth today.
There's no doubt about it. We just mentioned in the first half, both sides a little bit nervous. Mistakes were there. But this last half has just been a display of sheer desperation and running power.
60 plays 55. It's a 5-point ball game. Colville sets out after this one. Just looks for some options. Evades the tackle on Kelly. Kelly got him around the hips. It was a very good tackle. McNally calls for holding the ball. Higgins pirouettes around. Well, that was exciting. Delivers it up into the midfield. Underneath this one, Nicholas down from centre half forward, a long way from his position of finding the ball. Heel had the ball smothered. Good work, Sikalella. Releases Holland. Charging through. Well done, Josh Carr. Cuts it off. Higgins. Quick one. Chigwidden. Little flick. Pachoni dragged the ground, still dispatched the handball into the forward zone now, and Bode turns on the left, around the corner he goes, finding space. Where's McEntee? Couldn't quite get to the contest. Fruin really has smothered him today, and Fruin must be amongst the
has made it difficult in the Glenelg supporters are looking for a deliberate out of bounds as we see Matthew Golding come off the ground. He looks a bit groggy. And Mark Vista comes on to take his place.
Ball's thrown in. McCarthy did a change of handballs. They've got Kluzak out wide. He goes in that direction. Tippy, you got to commit yourself. It was there, neither there, here, or there in that contest. He's playing now, and Dillon takes it. Visca! What a tackle by Mark Visca! Holy!
Well, that was magnificent stuff, wasn't it? He ran 30 metres to grab him there, and along with Andrew Rogers, Mark Visca, that is magnificent stuff. Had to be holding the ball, had plenty of opportunity to get rid of it, and very stiff there, Mark Visca.
Oh, this is fantastic football. It's SAN NFL, it's live and exclusive to the ABC Sport. It's in towards forward. Kluzak goes back with the umpire, hides his whistle behind his back once again. He's got Piccone running through the middle, heads up towards Nicholas. It's been a fantastic duel this afternoon. 25 is Dutchy Holland. Can't quite pick this one up. In there again is Chiggy. Coming through hard as Whelan. Whelan will go across to McCartney. Gives it back to Holland. Holland faked the kick and looks up. Colville inside 50. Terrific build up there from the back line.
Just the running power of the Eagles there through defence. Young Whelan, who's been very good all day, along with Dutchy Holland, who's come on and really provided some spark back there. Gavin Colville just hasn't stopped working all day. Finds himself with an opportunity to kick a goal from 45.
Little Ginger holds the ball down. He's had an outstanding season of football. Puts it high. It's into the teeth of the breeze here. Jumpers are there. Kluzak, also Biglands. We're looking for a soccer off the ground. I think there was one there. We'll wait and see. Thank you. 2 fingers to go up to goal. I'll have to see the replay. I think it might have been Dylan or Parman.
Dylan off the ground, I think. We'll just have a look at it, Mark, if we get the opportunity. Whelan running hard from defence, as we mentioned. McCarthy and Holland have both been good. Colville here against the breeze, gets it to the top of the square. Well, if it wasn't Pyman, then Dylan certainly finished it off, didn't he?
Maybe Pyman, I think. I think it was over the line.
The initial one.
I reckon it was Pyman.
We'll give it to Pyman.
I think you do. I think Pyman had the touch that went across the line, and Dylan was just there to finish it. Alistair Burke. Desperate days now for Glenelg. Can they mount a challenge? They've defeated the Eagles 3 times this year. Well done, Higgins, over the top to Chigwidden. Rogers just cut it off at the pass, the old cowboy style. And Whelan, short to Fruin, who takes a good one-hander. 12 and a half minutes gone, plenty of time for Glenelg to get right back into the contest. They trail by 11 points, and they've got the firepower up forward in McEntee and Corns. Rouvray, right high across the top, thumps it across the line. Well, Pyman got the little touch, the initial one. And Pyman claims it, by the way, fellas, and Dylan finishes it off.
We always do, don't you?
Ball's down, Higgins again. Rogers, outstanding second half of football by the captain. Comes up again, Pavlik has been quiet, just pushes the ball forward to Colville. An opportunity here. McCartney runs in from 55 metres and drills one home. McCartney from centre half back.
Well, he's been good all day, Nails, hasn't he? I mean, he's been terrific in defence along with Andrew Rogers there. Just adding that extra dimension to cap off an outstanding game. 24 touches from the half-back flank. Gets the opportunity to run inside 50 and doesn't let his teammates down with an excellent penetrating kick into the breeze, and that's a real team lifter.
Big occasion player, John McCarthy.
He likes to kick a goal too, David. He kicked 100 goals a couple of seasons in a row for North Hobart.
Actually, you're an old Tasmanian, Michael, you'd know that. Biglands, the big slap away. Burke dragged off it by Hugh Grinick. Burke goes after it again. Sicolella smothered the handball. Carr flicks it out to Kelly. Low centre of gravity, just forced his way through, gives it off to Tipper Matameri. Now in turn, it's Jamison. They're mounting a charge, Glenelg. It's heel, straight, and long towards McEntee, and he's got it.
Oh, great mark.
That's a mark. He is an exciting player, McEntee, and the one who could turn it.
Exactly right, David. I mean, he's the sort of player that when a side needs to lift, he just jumped early and hung in the air. And an ability to keep his eye on the ball. Took a fantastic mark. He really needs to go back and nail this if the Bays are going to stop this flow. Very, very quiet day by his standards. He's had 3 kicks, no handles.
He's got 1 goal, 26 goals, 14 for the year. Heads their goal kicking, and this is a very important kick. The Glenelg fans like it. The goal up by likes it. Can they mount a challenge? That's his second.
That's his second. There's absolutely nothing in this now. Rod Jamison continuing to run from defence, and Simon Hill, we got it long and hard into that area. McEntee just floated across in front of the pack. Fair sort of player to be able to do that against the defence of Fruin and Hall. More importantly, goes back, kicks the goal, and certainly keeps the Bays well within touch.
61 plays, 72, 11-point ball game. We're 15 and a half minutes into this last quarter. Down to Colville once again. Left leg is high. Going back with the play will be Burke. He puts his eyes on the football only and takes a good mark. Wants to get the ball moving. Gives it across the Carr. Carr needs support through the midfield. Looks up. He's kicked to the biggest man on the field.
Oh! Mark of the year.
Easy. Straight over the top.
The cook. Let's go back to that. Where's the play? It's back here with Dutchy. He's kicked the cogs off. Let's get back to it through him. Where are we? Matthew Kluzak should take this. He does. Matty Kluzak comes out wide, kicked the bag out in the full. We've got a moment.
Have we got time to get back to that
again?
What do you reckon about this, fellas?
Well, that's one of the best marks you will ever see. Tony Antrobus did it. Brett Burton flew straight over the top, and I reckon he was another foot above that, David.
Yeah, the chef
Unbelievable.
The chef was cooking, no doubt about that. That is a beauty, and one that will go down as one of the all-time greats of SANFL footy. Pachoni drives from half-back towards half-forward. McEntee, I think he's mounting his own personal challenge. Not paid this time. Fruin over the top of the ball, doesn't get it clear, and the umpire has no option but to bounce. We're almost 17 minutes in, and we'll have another look at the angle of this. Paisley, talk us through it.
Oh, it's just leapt through the air and just gone straight over his opponent on the side there, and then held the ball to the ground. Actually marked it on his chest, and as you rightly said, that's the best mark you'll ever see at this competition.
Oh, got me going. Bowes should have been paid a free kick there. The umpire just caught out of. You can see a free kick coming back here between Corns and McCartney. I just couldn't quite see it. I knew it was there. Umpire very quick to blow his whistle. McCartney takes it, just settles things down. He'll head towards Biglands, there's no doubt about that. He moves towards the centre of the ground, this Biglands. Up against Rouvray. Good work there by Biglands, just knocks the ball forward. Carr takes him on, gives the handball out. What can Tippy do? Runs into power. Could have been Kluzak with Cicarella. Coming through hard there was Kelly. Tries to get rid of it. There is Kluzak this time. Pushes it out wide. The little tipper's there. It's knocked on. Floriani just keeps the ball alive. Carr again's in there. Chips it up. Tippy now needs eyes only for the football. He does it this time. Across the hill. Faked there by Jamison. Comes back inside to Rouvray. Rouvray will head up towards corner. McEntee! Oh, he's missed another one. Comes up again. Great second effort. Great collision coming through. McEntee's down, as is Whelan. Great clash of bodies there. Oh, it's on again.
Give the umpires a pat on the back.
Absolutely, they played the game on all day, but just the ferocity and the way both sides have attacked the footy has been absolutely magnificent. Whelan, who really is a hard nut, a real tough player, attacked the ball hard, dispose of it, and they held the ball in the area. It's been fantastic stuff.
McEntee had the ball smothered by Rogers and Fruin. It's McCarthy. Though they combine well, McCarthy, Fruin and Rogers. The chef, Sujai Cook, former Norwood player, now in a final series with Glenelg. Kelly, also a former Norwood player. Around the corner on the left boot. What a wonderful story is Kelly's. 2 knee reconstructions. Oh, Bo! You've just got a chance to be a hero, don't you? You just put that one through, the emotion riding high. But a point.
They've lifted the bays. McEntee took a mark in the forward line, kicked a goal. It's given them a little bit of momentum, and they've really rallied hard. Now the pressure's back on the Eagles side.
Stevie Hall comes back with the ball. He'll head out again for Biglands. Out there is Jamison, also Rouvray. Oh, mark's been taken back here by Ugrinik in front of Burke.
Probably had the better of that duel, I would have thought, David. He's been excellent, Adam Ugrinik. Played forward quarters.
It's made for him today. Lights and a hot, dry oval.
Punch down. Favours the Tiger few trick through Chick Whitten. Comes up now again for Corns. Great ball from behind. Terrific work there by Fruin. Gets the ball down. Pearce will be tackled as he kicks it. It's favoured by the kick there. Finds
Shirley.
The player in the middle of the ground is Shirley. Shirley out wide. Gigney will spoil this from behind. He couldn't quite get to the contest. He's tired. The big fella in Gigney. Cross the paddle. It picks it, chips it over the top. Goes wide, out of bounds on the full.
He's had a little bit more time to steady there. Just the pressure of the defence from behind. He's scooted off.
I guess for a lot of these young players, it's the biggest game they've played in. Melody, who's played in finals and winning finals in Perth, drives it long. Gigney was the target. Sujai Cook dragged off it by Pearce. Play on called the umpire. Pachoni gets a handball out. It's Matty Kluzak. Under pressure, one step, high ball, crashing through Pyman. Claimed by Kelly, who's working back deep in defence. And there'll be a bounce. Matthew Kluzak's had 18 kicks, a handball and 1 goal. Must be high Paisley amongst the Eagles better.
Very high now, and he came on late in that first quarter too, so he hasn't played a full game, and As soon as he came on, he exerted his influence on this game of footy.
21 minutes gone, Nail. Still time for Glenelg to get up.
It's times on their side. They just can't allow the Eagles to kick a goal here. Picconi's been very, very good this afternoon. The tipper, catch me. He releases the ball to Kelly. Kelly, not the quickest bloke out there this afternoon, but definitely the courageous. Kicks it up. McEntee's in the contest. Brings the ball down to Corns. Running on to McCartney. He's been good in this last quarter. They're still in the contest. And Nicholas taken high there by Whelan. He really is exerting a lot of pressure, physical pressure, I mean, out there. He's young, one of the smallest players in Whelan.
Gee, I don't think the hand hit him there. It's just a fair dinkum contest at the footy.
Nicholas needs to go over the top here to Tippy. He doesn't. Punch it in, give McEntee and Corns a chance to jump at it. It's the high ball. At the back is Jamison. He takes the mark, Jamo.
He knows how to kick a goal, Paisley.
Certainly does. An inaugural leading goal kicker for the Adelaide Crows. Loves nothing better than to be able to sneak down there and just a little push. That was that experience.
They'll take money here. Will it be a drop kick or a drop punt? Oh. It's a drop punt. It's on its way and it's accurate. They're back in this game, the Tigers. We're back to a 4-point ball game.
This is almost deja vu for the Eagles. A game early in the season at Adelaide Oval, the Eagles were about 15 points up with 10 minutes to go. Rouveret and Jamison were absolutely dominant from defence, and they haven't beaten them this year. The Eagles must clear this ball from the centre.
Round 10 and Glenelg got up by 2 points. You've picked it pretty well. 22 and a half minutes, still plenty of time. 4-point ball game. You just think that next goal might win on a wave of emotion. Well, who's it going to be? The Eagles or Glenelg squaring up to Port Adelaide next week. Ugritic missed it, he could have taken it, but he claimed Burke in the tackle, which was a good recovery. This has been an epic contest. If you've just tuned in, it wasn't much of a game in the first half, but since half-time, it has exploded into an epic contest.
It's just had everything, hasn't it? I mean, it's just had ferocity at the footy. It's had the high marks. You won't see better high marks than what we've seen today. And two committed teams, young and enthusiastic, that have had a fair dinkum dip. And really, that's all you can ever ask for.
Whelan to Sicolello is good play. Sicolello uses the ball pretty intelligently generally. Dillon, who's been an absolute live wire today, 15 kicks, 7 handballs, found plenty of the ball, and the Eagles are exploding. Now it's Chris Kluzak in front of Visca, and he'll steady the ship with a shot for goal.
He's got to kick right into the teeth of the breeze, which really has increased this quarter. Normally a very, very accurate kick.
Hyman will be under the ball, so too Pavlich.
You have to say, working against him, it's going to be a tough kick, this one.
What have we got him down for? Chris Kluzak, 1 point. 20 goals, 13 for the year. Lobs it right in the square. It's a mark to Matty Kluzak. Brotherly love. And we said the next goal would win, and the Eagles have been able to just secure the important mark.
You reckon he saw him out the corner of his eye there?
No chance.
I think you're right. It was a bad kick, but Matthew Kluzak got himself into the right position, held a strong mark, and really has had a fantastic game since he's come on just before quarter time.
Kick number 19 for Matty Kluzak. He's got a goal, and this one takes the Eagles into the second semi-final against Port Adelaide next week. I don't know that Glenelg can recover. We're 24 and a half minutes in, and they trail by 10 points. They'll need to kick 2 very quick goals.
No doubt about it.
I want you to have a look at this replay and tell me Chris Kluzak didn't try to bend in a torpedo punt on that kick.
I think you're right, Michael.
10-point ball game now. 11-12, 78. The Tigers 10-8, 68. To a tremendous start to the final series for 1999. You're going to watch all the action on your ABC throughout September and the first week of October. Comes out from Kelly, kicks it up forward again. The Tigers forwards caught behind. They can't allow this to happen. Good work again by Fruin. Heads out towards Floriani. Floriani and Hall have had a tremendous, or Hill have had a tremendous contest on the wing this afternoon. We're back in it. Golding's been put to the bench. Gigney's been moved into ruck. The lights are on here at Football Park. Again, Bigland's bowed down there, shares it off the pack, goes up towards Chicky and Corns. Corns 1-2 jump at it, can't get to it. The tackle should come on, needs to be applied, it wasn't. Comes through to Rogers. Rogers blasts the ball forward. Carr goes over his head, He needs to take it now in the contest, needs support. He's got Piccone. Piccone across to Kelly. Kelly needs to chip it up over the top. It comes out to McEntee. He'll have a jump at this. He does. One grab once again. Can't bring it to ground. Cleaning up is McCartney. McCartney around his body, over his shoulder. The two Eagles players here, Colville and also Pearce. Colville goes it alone, heads out, looking for Dylan. In there also is Rouvray. Tipper's in there as well. Just releases the handball to Gigney. Gigney will go wider to Bode. The ball wasn't taken. Going down was Dylan. Good handball inboard to Chris Cluzak. Back to Floriani. Up again and coming back for the safe mark on the last line. There is Lance Piccone.
Piccone plays on quickly. Glenelg need to move the ball on. Cluzak's got him. Play on, said the umpire. No, it's a free kick. I think they'd cooked Glenelg. Piccone was trying everything. You couldn't blame him for trying to play on and force the pace. He had nothing but attack in his mind. No point defending at that point. But Matty Cluzak got him, and Cluzak, who's kicked 2 big second-half goals and really has found the stats of a midfielder from the forward line. 20 kicks coming up. Piccone can feel the disappointment, but he shouldn't be ashamed. He was trying his best. No shame in that. 2 goals to Cluzak. 10 points the margin. Blow it out to 16 points if he puts this through. The goal umpire has a good look. His teammates like it, but a point. So 11 points the margin, but time running out for Glenelg.
Really just have gone back to team footy, the Eagles. They've all done it collectively. Been a couple of individuals that have really provided the spark. Robert Kyman in the third quarter and Matthew Cluzak in particular in the last half. But it has been a fantastic team effort from them in the last half.
So the siren sounds, it's all over. 11 points. The Eagles have won and they go into next week's second semi-final against Port Adelaide. They didn't defeat Glenelg through the regular season, but they've pulled something out of the hat to recover from 23 points down at half-time to win by 11 points. A stirring victory to the Eagles, and they go into next week's match against Port Adelaide, Paisy, with great confidence.
They certainly will. They're well and truly out of it in that first half. Glenelg provided all the run, and then we just saw the injury to Raiders and Sherwood that really upset the apple cart for Glenelg, who've relied so much on that running defence. And the Eagles came out after half-time, and they just played team footy. Mark Micken looks for about 3 or 4 important team rules that must be adhered to every time. Play in front, bring the ball to the front, centre it in the forward line, and then just run and create. And that's exactly what they did in that last half, and you can put it down to a number of players that provided the spark, but consistently in that last half the majority of players really did just do their job and put their hand up.
You can see the disappointment. Glenelg have won I think 7 out of their last 9, and they've been in tremendous form. The Eagles have won 5 out of 6, and Mark Micken would be pretty happy with that as he's down on the boundary line with Michael Parsons.
Yes. And David Mackay said you'd be pretty happy with that. That was one hell of a fight back, Mark.
Yeah, great effort. I think we learned from the demons of the past that, against Glenelg, that probably got us a couple of times, and we just kept banging away at it. We knew that at 3/4 time we had a bit of a chance, but we knew the game wasn't over. And I think that there's no greater quality than perseverance, and I think they showed just terrific perseverance today, and a lot of maturity.
And speaking of maturity, some of your older guys may be on that half-back line in McCarthy, and your captain did a fantastic job.
They held up really strong, very, very solid back there, and the number of times the ball went in and then came straight back out was terrific for us.
And here they come. Thanks, Mark.
And they deserve a warm round of applause, the Eagles, as they come off victorious